Want to call to order the Planning Commission meeting of September 9th, 2025. The process we'll be following tonight, as usual, it'll be the process this evening to call for items on the agenda. The Commission shall hear briefly from staff first, then the applicant and a representative, and then open the public hearing and hear from those in favor and or in opposition to the request. When you come to the podium, please clearly state your name and address for the record. Before closing the public hearing, both staff, applicant, and or representative will be provided an opportunity to respond, to provide additional information, and answer questions. After all interested parties have spoken, the public hearing will be closed. We will hear closing remarks and alternatives from staff. The first item on the agenda tonight under general orders is a special exception request to the Planning Commission, SPC 25-01. However, that item has been withdrawn due to lack of total quorum from the Planning Commission. So move on to the public hearing items. The first item received public comment regarding a request for a map amended MA 25-09. And as I understand, that item has been withdrawn. So the next item on the agenda will be to receive public comment regarding an application for a short-term rental, STR 0212, from Clint and Desiree Moritz.
Sorry, you can finish.
What?
The clerk would just like to advise that we will have a 5-minute limit per public speaker for when we have big crowds.
Sorry. Thank you for the clarification on that. Okay, this is the item is a application for a short-term rental, STR 0212, from Clint and Desiree Moritz for a property addressed at 1004 North Dryden Circle in the small lot single-family residential RSS district. Staff?
Yes, sir. So tonight we have the short-term rental application for a short-term rental license at 1004 North Dryden Circle. Here's the property outlined in pink that you can see just west of Dryden Circle. This property is approximately a quarter-mile north of McElroy Road, quarter-mile east of Perkins. Short-term rental licenses are submitted, and then there's a 300-foot notice that's sent out to all the neighbors. There's a notice sent to all the neighbors within 300 foot of the property. If any concerns are sent to staff or submitted to staff, then a public hearing is scheduled, which is why we're doing the public hearing tonight. That public hearing is so that Planning Commission can decide if a short-term rental is an appropriate use at this location. For short-term rental licenses specifically, Planning Commission is the ultimate deciding factor. So that is what we're here listening to tonight. I'm open to answer any questions if you have any.
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'd like to have the applicant come to the podium and explain their request. Please state your name and address.
My name is Desiree Moritz, and I'm at 1004 North Dryden Circle. Well, that's the property we're discussing. That's not my physical address. So do I just state, I haven't done this before.
Maybe it would help if you explain what you're going to do with the property.
Okay.
Maybe some of the conditions you're going to have for the short-term rental.
Okay, sure. So my husband and I bought the property to make it into an Airbnb, as we just know the necessity in the city for more places to stay when we have big events. We've went in and we've remodeled it. There's also 3 other Airbnbs on that street. So we thought it was a great location. We have given all the neighbors our phone numbers so they have access to us. If they were to see anything go wrong, they have access to call us. We have 2 different residents in the area that we know personally. So every time it's rented out, we contact them and make sure that they have eyes on the property and also contact us if anything goes wrong or they see any activity that's not okay. We have a noise meter that's installed that gives us alerts if the noise goes over certain decibels. We have 4 blink cameras around the property that we monitor the coming and goings of the people that want to stay there. We're only doing short-term rentals, so we're not doing months at a time. I'm pre-approving the rentals, so they just can't automatically book through Airbnb. They have to be approved by me, and I'm only approving people to stay there that have 5 stars from previous places that they've stayed at before. We have a no partying policy, and I own my own business in this town, and we also have children, so we are concerned with the safety of the neighborhood as well, and also our upstanding citizens that aren't going to rent to anybody that's going to tear up the property or cause any problems.
What about such things as age limit that you're going to be renting to? Is it going to be limited to a 2-day or 1-day stay?
We only rent to clients over the age of 25, and our limit on there is 2 weeks at a time. So we might get somebody that's coming to town traveling, like setting up, a business here with the Google plant or something like that going in, but otherwise we're not renting long-term past that.
Commissioners, any questions for her?
Sometimes we see people put a distance requirement that the renter has to be so far away so that it keeps local kids from renting it for a party.
Yes, so I have had just people inquire that are from out of state, and they're all coming here for a specific reason, like their kids are going to school or something of that nature. But no, I'm not going to rent it to somebody local just so they can use my house for a party. And my rates are higher than any of the others in the neighborhood, so that will help eliminate that sort of thing as well. And like I said, I have to approve them before they can just book, and they have to have 5 stars on their rating system, so that helps a lot too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor of this submittal? Seeing none, would anyone like to speak in opposition to this? Seeing none for that. Staff, want to come up and make your recommendation?
Can you officially close the public hearing?
This closes the public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. The alternatives are to approve the application, defer the application for additional discussion, or deny the application.
Any additional questions for staff? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion regarding this item?
I move we approve.
Well, I mean, I would acknowledge that we got a couple of emails that were in opposition, but they didn't have anything that we don't normally see.
Correct.
So
Right.
it wasn't anything that really asked. So I would second the motion.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Take a vote now. Motion passes, 3-0. Okay. The next item is receive public comment regarding application for a short-term rental, STR 0215, from Robert P. and Annette I. Jones for a property addressed at 1512 South Surrey Drive in a small lot, single-family residential RSS district.
Yes, sir. Like you said, this is a short-term rental license application for 1512 South Surrey Drive. Here's the property, located just west of Surrey, about a quarter mile north of 19th Street. copy paste the last speech about short-term rentals, but like I said, the planning commission is the ultimate deciding factor. A notice was sent out to all the neighbors within 300 feet of the property to see if there were any concerns that they wanted to share at a public hearing. We did have some concerns submitted, so we scheduled this for a public hearing, which is why we're here today. I'm open to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions at this time? None. Thank you. Okay, would the applicant like to come and explain their situation?
Good evening. Thank you for your time. Max Myers, attorney, Stillwater, Oklahoma, represent the applicants. I'd very briefly like to give an overview of Mr. and Miss Jones. They're not only been a staple in the community, Mr. Jones been over 35 years ministering in the community. They actually had the unique opportunity to purchase the home immediately adjacent to their home. May I approach?
Yes.
Bring documents to the city clerk, the clerk.
If you have any questions, there's pictures that they've taken of the home. As I stated, Mr. and Miss Jones, long-standing in the community. Miss Jones retired from Stillwater Schools. What's different with this application than most you might see, as I mentioned, this is the home immediately adjacent to their home. So Mr. Prather had asked a question earlier about renters from away. So far it's been used by family members, but they do look forward to having 2 to 3 day Airbnbs in the home. Couple things to mention. They have additional neighbors that are in their neighborhood who are long-term friends, neighbors that will be in support of them if you want to hear that. But this is meant to be an opportunity to protect the home that's next to theirs, maintain all rights for a 2 to 3 day rental through Airbnb, that they will screen the applicants just as the last lady was going to screen. They're reserving the right in their application process that it's no party and anybody in violation of that will be asked to immediately leave. And would also say that there's already 2 other short-term rentals in the vicinity. They've done this for future planning purposes, and I don't know how you could get any better than living right next to your own Airbnb property. Would gladly like to ask any questions you might have on it. I did also notice there was one email in that was not for the property, but from the standpoint of the neighbors that live in the immediate neighborhood, we don't think there was any opposition. I gave you a packet. This is what the home looks like through the clerk. And they continue to work on the home to keep it updated and presentable. And it's actually an Airbnb for the very purpose that the person would want one to control your own neighborhood. Mr. Jones and Ms. Jones are available, as well as myself.
Any questions for the applicant? So just to clarify, the Joneses will continue to live in their residence, which is adjacent to this proposed short-term rental.
They've been in their residence over 35 years, raised their children there, not planning on going anywhere.
So in essence, if there is an issue with parting, either the neighbors can inform them, or they will know themselves.
I would think they'll be the first to know.
Right.
Yes.
Any conditions like we spoke to the previous applicant, age limit?
No age limit at this point, but as I stated earlier, they do reserve the right to immediately remove. Also, it's not to be rented for parties. As I said earlier, it's been rented so far on a few occasions freely. For just one was an incoming minister, another was family. They just want to have control of their own neighborhood and had a unique opportunity to buy the home.
Will the people intending to rent this short-term rental, will they understand what the conditions are prior to using it?
They'll be clearly posted.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor of this application?
My name is Tom Derringer, address 1615 Surrey Drive. I live right across the street from the Joneses in the new proposed short-term leasing property that they're discussing. they have really done a great job of cleaning this place up. It looks better now than it has for a number of years, and I think if you would to allow this to happen, that they would maintain this in a real positive manner. There's plenty of room on the driveway for parking. I don't see any issue with anybody parking on the street. I know one of the concerns from the neighbor in the next neighborhood was excess traffic, and I just don't see that would be an issue, and it certainly wouldn't be an issue for the neighbor in the other addition, because there's no throughway to that other addition from our addition. So I'm just here to say I think it would be a very positive thing.
Just to clarify your comment, you said there's plenty of parking. What do you mean by that?
They've got a very large driveway. It can hold probably 6 cars easily just in the driveway.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? No, thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of this application? Seeing none, who would like to speak in opposition to this application? Yes.
Stephen McGowan, 1511 South Ashton Avenue. I think one of my main concerns about this property, there are multiple concerns, but one of the main ones is just the traffic, for one. And to me, these short-term rental houses in a college town turn into be party houses. And noise is indiscriminate. Even though I do live in the adjacent neighborhood, we chose that neighborhood based on how quiet the neighborhood was, the community that we have there, and the fact that I can sleep on the porch, the back porch sometimes. It's so quiet. And I don't want to have that change for me. I know they said that everything's been cleaned up, and I have driven by the property. It looks really nice. But how long until properties change hands, and then this short-term rental approval, does it follow to a subsequent owner or a subsequent
No.
person? It does not.
Ownership changes and a new application would have to be made.
Has to be
correct?
made. Okay. Well, that clears up some of my concern, but I am concerned about zoning. To me, should exist for a reason, and these neighborhoods were zoned as single-family residences, and I personally see short-term rentals as undermining the original intent of a zoning request and of a zoning scheme for a neighborhood that really erodes the function and the neighborhood kind of vibe that goes on there. As a parent of 2 millennials, the common lament that I hear from them is that I can't afford anything, because short-term rentals have been bought in a lot of neighborhoods and they drive the prices up, and then younger people cannot afford to purchase homes. They just flat out can't do it. I heard a radio broadcast just this morning that the average age of the first-time homeowner has grown to be 38 years old because they can't afford to buy a home. So I see short-term rentals as being part of that problem, and I'm concerned about how that plays out across that neighborhood. I guess those are my 2 main points, that noise is indiscriminate and how short-term rentals really affect the neighborhoods and they affect the home prices in a neighborhood, and how the original zoning was there for a reason. It should be maintained. That's really all I have to add.
Any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wants to speak in opposition to this proposed STR? Okay, seeing none, would staff please approach the podium?
Close public hearing, please.
Oh.
Close the public hearing, please.
The public hearing is closed.
Yes, sir. So the alternatives tonight are to approve, defer, or deny the application.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion for this item?
Well, I think, with the owner of the Airbnb living next door, I'm certainly less concerned about noise. I think they'll be highly attuned to that. So, and the general topic of property values, I don't really know much what to say about that. I don't have any data that supports that or doesn't support that, so that's one I haven't heard. But the net effect is, I think, as far as an Airbnb goes, it's pretty much an ideal situation, especially compared to many that we have approved here. So I'm going to make a motion to approve it.
Do we have a second?
Well, I'd just like to say, I think we can be sensitive to the issues of noise, but if the people living next door own the facility and address the fact that they can make concerted effort to have no parties, and they should be able to hear the noise first of all, I think I'll go ahead and second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. Okay, the motion passes 3-0. Okay, the next item on the agenda is to receive public comment regarding a request for map amendment MA 25-08 to rezone property addressed at 1423 West 8th Avenue from small lot single-family residential to two-family residential RT district. Staff?
Yes, sir. So this is a map amendment for 1421 West 8th Avenue to rezone the property from RSS small lot single-family residential to RT residential two-family. As you can see from this aerial view with the property outlined in pink, just north of this property on the north side of 8th we have a parking lot, and to the north of that we have the hospital on the north side of 7th. Directly surrounding this property we have residential uses to the west, south, and east of this property. This property is located on the southeast corner of Gray and 8th Street. Here's the street view from the corner of Gray and 8th looking southeast, where you can see the existing residential property. Here's the zoning map where you can see the P or public zoning to the north of the property, which goes with the hospital. You can see the RSS or small lot single family residential zoning that exists on this property, as well as to the south and to the east of this property. And you can see the O or office zoning to the west of this property. Here's the future land use map from the comprehensive plan, which calls for commercial uses at this property. I'm open to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? No questions. Thank you. Okay, would the applicant or agent please come and to the podium?
Katie Purdy, 113 East 8th Ave. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. Our client is rezoning this property in order to add a small addition on that will include a kitchen. So therefore, for that reason, it needs to be, will count as a duplex, so will need to be rezoned to RT for the use. We believe this is a good transition zone from the hospital parking lot to the RSS or surrounding, and office is located to the west, so we think this would be a good transition into the adjacent neighborhoods.
Any questions for the applicant? No. All right, thank you.
The developer is here if you would like to speak to him as well.
perhaps we have a little more clarification about the addition to the structure.
Yes, my name is Don Williams, 304 South Duck. I did bring our plans. If you guys would like to take a look at those. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. How's that? She is kind of short, isn't she? Yeah. When the owner came to us with this project to decide to take, it's a relatively large lot, and there's room on the east side of the existing building to add another structure, which would be another dwelling onto the east end of the existing dwelling. His intent is to occupy one of the two and then lease out the other one. From my perspective, I thought, hey, that's a pretty good idea. I think I can go along with you on that, because 8th Street, right across from the hospital parking lot, is a pretty busy street. It's not it's not a quiet residential street at all. And by adding this other dwelling to the side of the current one, that would allow new construction into the area. It would allow a larger structure on the lot, and I think it would enhance the area as opposed to detracting from it. And it's a unique situation in that the size of the lot allows for the addition to the side. And being in the location close to the hospital, it would be a great place to allow people that are coming in to the hospital for certain times, allow them a place close to the hospital to stay. So I thought that it was a good use of the property, and so we have joined him in bringing this to you to see if you guys agree with this. But I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any further questions?
So the idea is that it would be a short-term rental at some point on the other side?
If it's going to be a short-term rental, we'll be back to see you.
Sure.
Typically on a situation like that, it would be leased actually to the corporation or to the hospital.
I see.
And the hospital then would allow people to come in and use it for a month or 2 months or whatever.
Okay.
Whatever they would do.
What the building, the new addition on the east, how far is it then to the property line further east of that? Do you know how much?
Off of the east property line, it'll be 6.5 feet.
6.5 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for the applicant? No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor of this agenda item? Okay, seeing none, would anyone like to speak in opposition to this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and have staff make the recommendation for alternatives.
Yes, sir. So the Land Development Code allows for rezoning via map amendments. A duplex is allowed by right in the two-family residential or RT zoning district, and the RT zoning district does not align with the desired future land use set by the comprehensive plan. The alternatives here are to accept, table, or deny the findings. Staff recommends alternative number 1, which is to accept the findings and recommend the City Council approve the proposed map amendment as presented.
Any questions? Well, thank you. So do we have a motion regarding this item?
I'd make a motion to accept the map amendment as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, and I will vote. And the item passes 3-0. The next item is to receive public comment regarding a request for MAC Amendment MA 25-10 to remove property addressed as 517 Southwest Street from the corridor redevelopment area planning district and zone of commercial general CG district. Staff?
Yes, sir. So this is a map amendment for 517 West South Street, where they are proposing to remove the property from the corridor redevelopment area planning district and zone it commercial general, just like you stated. So here's the aerial view where you can see the property outlined in pink, which is just north of 6th Street and on the east side of West. The proposal is to consolidate this property with the property to the south, which, as we can see, is that vacant lot on the northeast corner of West and 6th. Here's the street view. This is on West Street looking east, where you can see the existing vacant property and the vacant property to the south of it, which is on 6th Street. Here's the zoning map where you can see the existing zoning on the property, which is that greenish color, which is the corridor redevelopment area planning district. It's specifically in T5, which is the Transect 5. The property to the south of this is zone CG or commercial general. Like I said, the proposal is to consolidate these two lots. Since you can't have two zoning districts on one lot, a rezoning was required. The applicant has requested that the northern property be zoned commercial general. So to do that, you had to remove it from the existing corridor redevelopment area planning district, which is a part of the form-based code. Yeah. So here's the future land use for this property, where it calls for low density residential on this property and it calls for commercial uses on the property to the south. I'm open to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? I have a question. What requirements or criteria would be relieved by rezoning it to commercial general?
The applicant might be able to answer that a little more specifically, but I know whenever we had the conversation, it was just they had to pick one of the two zoning districts to do for the whole parcel, since the whole parcel had to be zoned the same thing so it could be consolidated. So to my knowledge, the primary reason for the rezoning isn't for any of the requirements. It's just so that you can have the same zoning on the whole parcel, but the applicant might have something more specific.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd like to have the applicant or representative approach.
Katie Purdy, 113 East 8th Ave, here on behalf of the applicant. So as Henry mentioned, our client had the opportunity to buy two separate parcels. One of them just happened to be zone T5 and the other zone commercial general. So for our client to put anything on this property, the city staff has asked us that this gets zoned as one zoning instead of two separate zonings. Mainly for the best reason I found is the building setback lines are different for different zonings. So when you have a property, it's hard to kind of justify that. So for me designing this, if I only have one zoning, that's kind of how I can, I pick one. So actually T5 is way more lenient. There are no minimum requirements on building setback lines. So I could be on the property line necessarily. So by going to commercial, that has a little bit more higher restrictions.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Any questions? No, thank you.
Okay.
Would anyone else like to speak in favor of this agenda item? Seeing none, would anyone like to speak in opposition to this agenda item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and have staff present the alternatives.
Yes, sir. So the findings of the Land Development Code allows for rezonings of land via map amendments. A coffee shop or other commercial development is allowed in the corridor redevelopment area planning district T5 or Transect 5 and commercial general zoning districts. They have very similar uses, so it wasn't a use that triggered this. A rezoning is required so that the lot can be consolidated with the property to the south to support the development of a commercial development. The CG zoning district does not align with the desired future land use set by the comprehensive plan. The alternatives are to accept the findings and recommend approval. We could table the item or deny it. Staff recommends alternative number 1, which is to accept findings and recommend that the City Council approve the proposed map amendment as presented.
Is the coffee shop an example, or is that specific?
That was something that was discussed, but since it is just a rezoning, it would be open to all the commercial developments allowed in CG or commercial general.
Okay. Any other questions? None. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Okay, do we have a motion?
I move we accept the findings and recommend the City Council approve the proposed map amendment.
A second.
We'll vote. And the item passes 3-0. Okay, the next item on the agenda is regular meeting minutes of August 19th, 2025. Any changes or amendments need to be made to the minutes?
I don't think so. I make a motion we accept the minutes.
Second.
Point of order, I wasn't here, so I can't technically vote on this. Does that not give us a quorum for this item?
That's correct. We'd have to have 3 votes. So if the motion was to approve, we would need all 3 approvals, or we can have a motion to accept them. And since you weren't here, you could accept them if you would like.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and proceed to the vote.
What was the motion? What was the motion? Oh, yeah, it was.
Okay, the motion to approve the minutes passes 3-0. Okay, do we have any miscellaneous items from staff to announce? None? Okay. The next regular meeting will be next week, September 16th. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Well, that passes and the meeting is closed. Thank you.